Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Gianna Lian, and today I'm giving you guys my April wrap up. This reading month wasn't the best, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I definitely didn't read as many books as I wanted to. I was doing so good on my streak of 7 or more books, but this month it just didn't happen. But I still read some amazing books and some not so amazing books, so we're just gonna give you the whole wrap up, all the reviews, all my thoughts, everything like that. So I did end up reading 6 books. I was basically only one short from meeting my goal, but one of them was on Kindle Unlimited, and then one I actually DNF'd, guys. Yeah. To start, I wanted to talk about the most recent book. I just finished it today. It was Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I had really high hopes for this one, but I ended up rating this actually a 3 out of 5 stars. It was just average. I didn't love it. I didn't absolutely hate it, but I am leaning more on the lower 3 stars than higher 3 stars. The best way to explain this book is it is basically just a humongous mind fuck. You have no idea what's going on, and I felt like some of the things were right in front of my face the whole time, but they didn't make sense. None of it made sense to me. Even the ending, I just felt so confused, and when I finished this, I was like, what? None of it just made sense, and I just didn't enjoy that about the book at all. But to get into what this whole story is about, it's basically told in dual POV of Amelia, which is the wife, and Adam, which is the husband. And then there is a third POV in it that I don't really want to say their name because it might be a spoiler, but there is a third POV. The chapters alternate like that. And then there's also, in between a few chapters, there's the anniversary letters. So there's a whole bunch of different POVs going on throughout the book, which I really enjoyed about that. Just the variety and how unique it was, and that was probably my favorite part about the whole book, is just the layout. I also absolutely loved the author's writing. I saved so many quotes in my phone throughout this book. I just fell in love with the author's writing. So that, I can say, was one of the biggest things that made me really enjoy this. But with Amelia and Adam, the married couple, they decide to go to this retreat for a weekend. It's this weird location, but they go there for a weekend getaway to try to fix their marriage. But it says one of them is lying and someone doesn't want them to live happily ever after. We obviously have that third POV that comes in there, and the couple trying to fix their relationship. It's just a lot that goes on. I was just really confused, and I think that just drove me away from the book so much. But I think the writing definitely made up for a lot of the book and a lot of my thoughts. So I'm not mad that I picked this up, but it definitely isn't my favorite, especially not my favorite that I read this month. Next, we have Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. I was so happy that I finally picked this up, guys. This series is so good so far. I already have the second book, and I'm hopefully reading it this month coming up. I need to continue the series. But for this one, I rated it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, so it was almost a 5 stars. It was so close, but it just didn't make the cut, barely. Because this is such a highly requested book in the book community and just so popular, I knew I needed to read it, but honestly, the length of it kind of drove me away from it for a while, but I'm just so happy that I finally picked it up. So the main tropes in here is boyfriend's brother trope, which is insane. I've never read that before, so that was kind of unique and cool and like something different. And then we also have like a grumpy ex-sunshine, I want to say, because we got a lot of grumpiness going on. And also enemies to lovers, possibly. I was kind of getting those vibes, but I don't know if that's for sure. And I did mention this is a series, so there is 4 other books I think in this series. So this is the first one, and this one specifically follows Erica and Michael. Each book throughout the series follows a different horseman, but I do definitely need to say you need to check trigger warnings on this book because it is dark. It is so insane. I remember before I went into this, I was told and warned how f***ed up this book is, but I cannot stress that enough. It was even more messed up than I thought it was going to be going into it. So make sure you check trigger warnings on this book because it is not light at all. Not only that, if you are looking for a closed door romance sort of thing going on, this is not the book for you. I would highly recommend you stay far away from this book because honestly, I don't read a lot of steamy books. It's probably just like a few scenes or two, but this I can say is by far the steamiest book I think I've ever read so far. It was insane. It really got into it, if you know what I mean. But the things that really stood out to me in this book is Penelope Douglas's writing style. I know there's a lot of slander around her writing style and just how people don't really like it, but I actually really enjoyed it. And I think just the whole concept of how she came up with this book is super cool and way different than a lot of the books that I've picked up to read. But like I said, I will be picking up the second book in the Devil's Night series, and I hear that each book just gets better and more messed up, so that is so exciting. It has me very, very tempted to pick up the second book like right now. This was a good one. Okay, you guys, we're just gonna get this one out of the way. I don't really have a lot of thoughts on it, to be honest. The book I DNF'd is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I actually did a video on this. It was a reading vlog. Yeah, this was a major letdown. I'm super upset about this. I was not expecting to DNF this. This is my first DNF of 2023. It saddens me to say that, but yeah, I don't really know what else to tell you guys. Honestly, from the first chapter, I was not vibing with the author's writing style. I couldn't get into it. And I feel like the author's writing style is just so important to me, and that just wasn't working for me right from the jump. So it already put me off from the book a little bit. Not only that, but I feel like the author, like, she was trying to be funny. She was trying to make the characters funny and witty, but it just was cringy and it wasn't funny at all. And it just was annoying. That might be a little harsh, but I'm just giving you guys my honest opinion on how I felt about this book. But before I explain more of my thoughts, this book just basically follows a married couple, and their 5th wedding anniversary comes up, and when the husband comes home, he realizes that his wife has gone missing. A whole bunch of things just go down, and the husband's trying to figure out where his wife has gone. The cops are kind of suspicious on the husband. He's not really cooperating. He's kind of acting a little strange and weird and closed off. So it's basically just the story of them trying to figure out where she went and what ended up happening to her. Yeah, I don't know. This book just wasn't interesting enough for me, and because of the writing style, I just could not do it. I ended up getting like a little bit over halfway, and then I just couldn't do it at all. And another thing is that it was just super slow. I think they were really trying to make the build up in the introduction, but it just didn't work. Nothing really ended up happening and picking up a little bit until like 130 pages into the book, so it was just a no for me. I watched the movie. I did enjoy that a lot more, so I just have to accept that I've DNF'd this and move on. For the book on Kindle Unlimited, I ended up reading the 5th book in the Mindf series by St. Abby. This is the last one in the Mindf series. It's so sad that I finished this month, but it's one of my favorite series of all time. I can strongly say that and stand by my opinion. I ended up rating this one a 5 out of 5 stars. It was the perfect end book to wrap up the whole series. I was obsessed with it. It was just perfect. And I think the thing that got me the most was I was already loving it, but then when I thought it was going down and there was gonna be some sort of ending, the last 20 pages had the biggest twist ever. It was insane. Like, the last 20 pages, I'm still mind blown, and I read this at the beginning of the month. It was insane. And with that, this has to be my all-time favorite out of the series. It was just perfect. This one just outdid the rest by a mile. So I'm telling you guys, you have to pick this series up ASAP. If you get anything from this video, it is to read this series. Each book is super short, but it just keeps you on your toes the whole time, and you just want to devour the whole series. It is literally the perfect serial killer dark romance, and it's just gonna have you on the edge of your seat the whole entire time. You are not gonna be bored a single page in this whole series. And if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will, guys. You just have to do it. A different book that I picked up this month, not really something I normally pick up, but it was Go Ask Alice by Anonymous. This is a super short book. And it's really tiny, as you can see, but every single page in this book was just so moving. It was insane, but I ended up rating this a 4.75 out of 5 stars. It was so close to a 5 stars. I don't know why I didn't give it a 5 stars. I just didn't get those 5-star feelings. If you know what I mean, you know. But I honestly have really no words about this book because it honestly has me speechless. Even now, after I've let everything soak in and my thoughts really settle, I still don't have a lot of words because I'm just speechless. And along with that, just thinking about the book, it makes my heart hurt. I feel for Alice, and I became so invested in her life and her story and stuff, and it was just so moving knowing everything that she was going through. And I feel like the book just spread so much awareness to this topic and really making everyone aware and clear that this is reality. This is what can happen, and your life can turn so fast with the blink of an eye just because of some bad decision. And there were so many life lessons that were taught in this book that was just done so amazingly. But it's It's basically just a diary of a 15-year-old girl that got caught up in a bad crowd, bad decisions. She ended up turning towards drugs, and it's just her story with addiction, coping with it, trying to recover from it, and everything in this book, like I said, is just so moving. I actually ended up tabbing and highlighting so much of this book because of how much it was just so moving, and it stuck with me for so long, still to this day. But the last thing I wanted to say is that I don't know if you'll be able to find this book because I got this one thrifting, but I can't find it at any of my local bookstores, so I have no idea if you'll be able to find it. But if you do, I highly do recommend you read it, but make sure you check trigger warnings because this is probably one of the darkest books I've read in the terms of dealing with mental illness and just dark subjects in general. So if you do pick this up, make sure you check trigger warnings because there's a lot that goes on in this book. And then the last book I picked up in the month of April was Finley Donovan, Knock Some Dead by El Casamano. This is the second book in the Finley Donovan series going on. So I have one more and I'm so excited to get to it. But I rated this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was close to a 5 stars, but I was definitely more critical when rating this because yes, I absolutely adored this and absolutely loved it. But if I had to choose, I did like the first one a little bit better. So that is why this one got a 4.5 instead of a 5, but I feel like this is going to be a 5-star series for me. From the first book, we were dealing with a struggling mom. She basically got an opportunity of a lifetime that could risk everything in her life and her children, basically everyone around her. So that was the first book and them dealing with that situation on their hands, and her little sidekick, which is her kid's babysitter, also dealing with this big dilemma that they have. I'm being very vague because I don't want to give anything away. For the second one, they're basically still going on adventures and being partners in crime, basically. It's just a really cozy mystery. It's so funny. You're gonna fall in love with all the characters, and it also has the murder mystery elements into it as well, especially in this one. I would say that this one deals with more of the murder mystery aspect and is a little bit more gory and action-packed than the first one was, but I loved every single second of it. And one of the best things about these books is that they do have really short chapters. I love short chapters. It's just the perfect accessory to a good book, and just the whole continuation for the second book, it was just perfect. It picked up perfectly where the last one left off, and it just went on from there, straight from the jump. It was go, 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 so fast-paced, and I didn't get bored a single second of reading this. But with the first one, it was more cozy mystery, so I feel like it was more of a breeze to just read. This one I feel like made me think a little bit more, but I enjoyed that because it had a lot more angst to it and it had more suspense to it, so I was really trying to figure out how this book was gonna end. I didn't figure it out, let me just tell you that, because it was so hidden so well and I just wasn't expecting it. For the ending, this one did leave off on a big cliffhanger yet again, but there is another book in the series, so I will have to pick that up to see what happens and how the series is going to end. Definitely a love series for me. But yeah, guys, these are the books that I ended up reading in April. Not the best month that I had, but I'm still not mad about it because I did find some new favorites, a part of series, standalones, other books that I wouldn't normally pick up. So I am really happy with my wrap up this month. Let me know down below what books you read in April because I'd love to know all your book recommendations and throw in a little bit of thoughts too. I would love to know your ratings of things, but May is coming, guys, and I'm so excited because I have a really good TBR for May and I just want to dive into all of them, but we only have so much time, which is sad. But I do think that is the end of today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys did, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff you guys know how to do. And with that, I hope you guys are having an amazing, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! March, oh my god, was on